What's going on, and welcome back to the channel. Today, I'll be giving you my first impressions on Missing Link Ultra Magnus. Let's crack this open. Let's go ahead and get Ultra Magnus out of his box. In this little box, we have a new member to the Transformers community, lore. So in the original Diaclone, a lot of these buggies came with Powered Convoy, which Ultra Magnus is based off of, and some of the other figures. So they decided to turn this buggy into an actual Transformer named Deerstalker, and now he is Ultra Magnus's partner. This package also has the rest of the accessories for Magnus, including his very own Matrix. Oh, that's a nice shiny blue. Okay. Let's go ahead and get this guy accessoried up and get him transformed into his armored mode. Go straight to, I don't know, leave. Yeah, no, he's pop up. Oh, he can sit back there. Head up. I believe he transforms very, very, very similarly to the original 84 toy, actually 86 toy. Oh, he's good. Nice. Clicky ratchets. Gun in hand. Let's go ahead and free some of these missiles and get the rocket launchers onto his shoulders. One, two. And there we have Ultra Magnus transformed into his armored form and all accessoried up. Now let's get Deerstalker in his robot mode. I guess I should check whether or not that's a he or she. And now we have Deerstalker in their robot mode. Alright, let's take a closer look at Missing Link, Ultra Magnus, and Deerstalker in their robot modes. Let's go ahead and start with Deerstalker. So, his arms cannot do a full 360. It stops and gets blocked by this little raise in the joint right here, which is part of the transformation joint. He can split his legs, okay, and when you untab it, he does have an E-bend. Otherwise, this tab locks into here, and he gets straight leg syndrome, which actually makes him, if you have the leg spread, pretty hard to stand. But when they're together, he stands pretty decently. Cool robot mode, but I'll probably keep this primarily in buggy mode. We shall see. Moving on to Magnus himself. He's got a full 360 in the arm. Nice solid ratchets in both the shoulder and the elbow. The fists do open and close if they want to cooperate real quick. Get the spudger out. They do open and close. And it looks like he's got a trigger finger and 3-finger split. Now, similarly to Deerstalker, Magnus can have his legs spread. Okay. But he is also in the same boat that his knee joint locks unless you untab it. But when it's untabbed, you do get a solid knee. No ankle pivot. Oh, I stand corrected. Some ankle pivot. So you can get into some interesting poses with him, but nothing insanely dynamic. When you remove this, you can actually access the matrix that Ultra Magnus comes with in his white robot mode. And one thing I want to call out here is that when messing with Magnus numerous times here, these pegs that lock the inner robot's legs to the outer armor do come loose quite easily. And I've had them pop on me quite a few times when filming this segment, as well as just messing around with them. But let's go ahead and do a few size comparisons. Again, starting with Deerstalker, we're going to compare him to Missing Link, Bumblebee, and Missing Link RC. Now, he is right in the middle of the size class between an Autobot car like RC and a Minibot like Bumblebee. So that should give you a good idea if you're going to keep him in robot mode and have him displayed on what to compare him with. I'm going to move him out of the way for now. And let's go ahead and compare Magnus to a few, starting with Missing Link, Optimus Prime. Now, I will pull out the inner robot here in a moment and compare the two robots. One thing I did want to call out here between the two is, so on Magnus, he's got an extra flap where the trailer hitch is that folds up that allow the feet to fold even more back than they would on Optimus. So Optimus's feet stop there to finish forming the back of the truck. But on Magnus, this piece comes up and it goes another 90 degrees for you to actually fit him in the power armor, so it doesn't they aren't hanging out there. But that should be able to tell you, though, because the Optimus does not have the ports, you cannot put your Optimus in the power armor and have him lock in place. You could put him in, you just wouldn't be able to effectively lock him with these two tabs here. Next, let's compare Missing Link Ultra Magnus to the true G1, Generation 1 Ultra Magnus. So I pulled this guy out of my G1 case to see how they look. And Missing Link is about a head taller than the original toy. But other than that, the guns are identical. The size of the hands in robot mode, or armored robot mode, are identical. And a lot of the accessories are damn near identical. So let's look at the chest piece here. One main difference is the new one has wheels on it because it can be formed into part of like a mobile attack station with the helmet. Like so. You could have your little human ally or Diaclone rider sit in. But technically, you could do that. Come on. There we go. With the original G1 toy as well. Just no wheels. But that still gives you your little hovercraft artillery station. Let's go ahead and bring in another size comparison. And we'll bring in Combiner Wars Ultra Magnus. Again, another Magnus that is shorter than the Missing Link. Let's shift the camera over a little bit here. But you can definitely see where some design cues were lifted from the original G1 figure, and how the design cues have carried over in different iterations of Magnus over the years. And one last size comparison. For the Power Armor Magnus, we have Studio Series 86 Ultra Magnus. Now, this mother is wide. As wide as Missing Link is, just about. Definitely shorter. Okay. But has the same width. Technically, I think he has the same width as the G1 toy, just about. He's a little wider than the G1 toy. But let's go ahead and get the white robot out of this guy and compare him to the Optimus Prime, so you can see exactly how similar the two figures are. Alrighty. So, size-wise, he is... Well, he should be exactly the same height as Optimus, but looking at him, Ultra Magnus is actually taller than Optimus. Ever so slightly, but he is taller. Double check, make sure it's not a issue with transformation here. No. Yeah, he is taller than Missing Link Optimus. The one thing I noticed just on Ultra Magnus here, I wonder if it's present on Prime. So Ultra Magnus, his kneecaps open up to give you greater range in both front and back leg movement. I don't think that is that present on Optimus? Doesn't look to be. Interesting. So, while they do look extremely similar, there are some more minute changes in the engineering for Ultra Magnus's inner robot. I'm going to get these guys transformed and we'll do a quick vehicle comparison. Now let's get into some vehicle mode size comparisons. Starting with G1 Ultra Magnus. Very similar in size, even with the newer Magnus being slightly taller. Come on, let's get this over. One thing to call out is the new one does allow you to put the rocket launchers on the side, whereas the original G1 toy, you had to mount them to the front of the carrier. Then let's bring in Combiner Wars Ultra Magnus. Considerably shorter in truck mode. Now, we already knew he was shorter than in robot mode, but this just shows that he is about half a cab shorter in vehicle mode. Now let's compare him to Commander Class Studio Series Ultra Magnus. These two guys are very similar in length. This one's actually a little longer in vehicle mode than Missing Link. Compare Magnus to good old RC and Bumblebee. You of course would expect them to be shorter, especially since Ultra Magnus can carry them. And then let's bring in the main man, Missing Link Optimus Prime, with his trailer. And with his trailer, Optimus Prime is longer than Ultra Magnus. Even with the Ultra Magnus cab being like in robot mode taller than Prime. Let's actually remove the carriers and compare the two in just the cab of the two. Now, looking at them, I get them lined up. They definitely look to be the same length in this mode. So it does surprise me quite a bit that Ultra Magnus is taller than Optimus when transformed. And just to wrap things up here, let's compare Deerstalker with RC, Bumblebee, Roller, and Minimus Ambus from Combiner Wars. Clearly, Minimus is the smallest of all these comparisons here, but it looks to be that the closest in size comparison would be Roller compared to Deerstalker. Now, it would have been cool if they did with Roller what they did with Deerstalker, made Roller into a transforming robot. That would have been fun. Thanks so much for joining me on my first impressions of Missing Link Ultra Magnus. If you like G1 figures or you like the G1 aesthetic, this guy might be right up your alley. I really enjoyed this figure. I think he is a good update of the G1 design, along with some of the better creature feature amenities, creature comforts. That's the word I'm looking for, that the G1 figure lacked. So one of the things I didn't mention in the vehicle comparison that I meant to was when you transform Missing Link, you don't need to take off his hands from the armor mode. Now you can take them off, and they do come off. Okay, but it does not stop you from transforming him. Whereas with the original G1, to get him into vehicle mode, you have to take the fists off, and there's no easy place to store them. Hence why when you go to hunt down a G1 Ultra Magnus, a lot of times he's missing his big fist or he's missing his small fists. It almost never fails that he's missing one or more of his fists. But if you don't want to have that hassle, this is a good option for someone who wants a G1 analog of Ultra Magnus in their collection that might not have a G1 Ultra Magnus. The build quality on this guy is great. Yeah, I mentioned the frustration I had with the back tab, but overall, it's not going to really affect my use case. Yeah, I'll pull him off the shelf every once in a while and transform him, but for the most part, he's going to be on display with my other Missing Link figures. But to each their own when it comes to how they want to use the figures in their collection. With that being said, thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please consider throwing it a like, and I hope to see you in the next one.